So, good day, everyone. We are the fourth presenter for construction method and project management, and our topics for today are construction methods and operations and manpower safety. So, our reporters for today are Luis Jem Kirsten, Tableo Elise Crescentin, Tibon Kathleen Faith, and Jaisel Mariel Yemet. So, to start, so first and foremost, let's learn about construction. But since we already know about this, let me just give you like a brief overview of the construction industry. So what is construction? Basically, diba, it's just turning drawings into real life structures for our part, like buildings, roads, bridges, and or even a simple waiting shed. Mo na siya ang construction industry, right? So it is huge. The construction industry is very broad. Mura siya kanang puzzle where every piece could it fits perfectly from workers nga nagmix of concrete, engineers nga nagcheck sa mga drawings, and machines doing the heavy lifting. You can see that they all fit a very huge puzzle because when you think about it, every big building starts small. So with a plan, a method, and teamwork. And in general, we split construction into two broad categories. We have first the building works. Building works, these are buildings for people. The house, the schools, the offices, basically everything that we can occupy or like madomesticate na to siya nga kanang kuan ba, infrastructure. Whereas the civil engineering works, which is the second category, mo ni siya ang large infrastructure projects nga para sa roads, bridges, canals, and dams. Diba, you get the concept na. Whereas the building works na yung mga houses, mo na siyang schools, offices nga ma-occupayan nato. Ang civil engineering works mo na siya like lead ana nga kanang building works. So basically, building mo na siyang house, mo na siyang building works. And then, ang kanang road na nag-connect an nga house, mo na siya ang civil engineering works. So, di ba, same industry, but different focuses. However, both are still essential. Now that we know the two types, let's look more closely at what civil engineering really covers. So, civil engineering, it is a discipline that designs, constructs, and maintains the physical and built environment. So this includes from small local works like kanang mga municipal roads, drainage, and retaining walls, to very large projects like para sa mga dams and long span of bridges. So civil engineers work in both the public sector, for example, kanang city or national government nga project, and also the private sector. For example, like kanang mga engineering private nga firms or homeowners. So basically, kanidang civil engineering nga mga infrastructure, if it doesn't move and it's not nature, probably civil engineering field. So kanang mga roads nga gi anha today, civil engineering basically. Kanang mga drainage that keeps it from flooding, nga wala na kuan kayo na civil engineers. So yeah, wala siya. So it's the one profession that can really say cute nga, I built that. Okay. So to understand civil engineering better, we have here the common sub-disciplines involved. So we have here the structural engineering, the transportation engineering, the water resource management, geotechnical engineering, environmental engineering, coastal engineering, earthquake engineering, and construction management. All right. So we have here also construction methods, but we have construction. So we have the methods as well. So construction methods, these are the specific procedures and techniques used to build a project. So that means reading the design and contract documents very carefully, then also deciding on the most appropriate and practical way to build the work. So construction methods, they cover the sequence of tasks, the equipment needed, the manpower not required, and the quality and safety steps that must be followed. So basically, makaingon kita nga mo na siyang heart of every project. So in simple terms, ang construction methods muna silang how-to steps to build. Okay, so we have here pictures of us in our OJT, during our OJT, na nagsunod mi og plano, nag-review mi sa plans and drawings, which is also part of the construction method. So why do we care about the methods? So let's look at the purpose. So we know that choosing the right method is what separates a smooth project from a chaotic one. Because if we don't choose the right project, murag pataka lang ta, di kita ka-ensure nga nice ang outcomes sa atong project. It affects how fast, safe, and affordable the construction will be. So, as the saying goes, a good construction method is chosen to improve productivity, ensure safety sa tanan, control cost, that is important, and maintain quality first of all. First and foremost, methods, they help us plan the sequence of activities para kanang mga teams nato walay conflict na may tabo. Materials dili mag-waste, unya ang the work should it stays on schedule. They also reduce risk, which is important. For example, by selecting safer ways to work at height or by minimizing excavation near unstable slopes. So, let's say you're building a house, diba? That is another murag kuan sa construction method. Like, you're building a house. Yeah, pa-chooson ka, asay masayon. So, do you use mixed concrete manually with a shovel nga slow and tiring or use a concrete mixer nga fast and consistent? Of course, you choose something that is fast and consistent. I'm sorry. So, dili na siya house ang you build the ko siya ka project. So, you use the most efficient and fast nga kanang way, not to like use the time efficiently, diba? Okay, so the method that you choose, it actually can literally make or break your schedule. So choosing methods needs organization and planning, which also brings us to the next slide. So organization and working method in civil engineering. So now, even with the best methods, however, di ba contradicting kaya kung ingon, pero even with the best methods, a project fails without good organization. Why? Because think of a construction project as a group na project. If one member nag-forget sa ilang part, ang whole presentation crumbles. I'm sorry. Diba, ana man na, like, nice mo og method. However, ang inyong kanang group effort, inyong, like, good inyong organization kay, dili siya nice. So, naturally, expectantly, it will, like, fail. So, successful projects, they require organization. After identifying the project's objectives, the team must then plan the scheme and then implement it. When a contractor signs a contract, they take the planning and data and set up on the site organization who will be the project manager, kinsa ang site engineers, foreman, safety officers, and so on. So they arrange the site layout, the supply chains, equipment, and worker logistics so the construction can proceed smoothly. For example, kanang like ang contractor ba, murag lagi siya sakto gyud nga kanang murag iyang own nga job description good nga buhaton niya on site. So like murag it's important to have clear lines of communication and documented responsibilities because without these, my God, even a good method may fall. So after that, now we briefly cover common planning and now we'll briefly cover common planning and also scheduling tools used to organize work. So we have here, I think we're very familiar with critical path analysis and the bar charts since we did an exam of this a few while ago. So to organize everything, engineers use planning tools like the critical path analysis and the bar charts, which is basically more fancy version of an engineer's to-do list, diba? So, so the CPM, it focuses on the logical sequence and task dependencies to identify the critical path. So the longest path though through the project shows the earliest completion component siya now. The critical path shows the order of what must be done first. I'm sure we all know how to do this in PLSF, diba? And that's na, kung ano po niyo sa previous group. So just a brief overview na lang. And also, we have here the bar chart or the Gantt chart. Mura siya colorful na calendar, diba? And each bar represents an activity. And when bars overlap, meaning na those tasks happen at the same time. Okay. So moving on, we have the site layout. So why is site layout also important? A good site layout improves efficiency and safety. So typical layout, it shows access roads, and you can see here that ang need yung image today. Sorry. Material storage, equipment zones, mga worker facilities, and activity, and safety areas, which is also as important. So sorry again. So for sites near on water, additional planning is needed, like mga barges, ni mga temporary nga mga jetties, conveyors, and also logistics for moving materials by water. So layout actually affects daily work. Poor layout actually means like workers, they walk longer distances, but like equipments can get in each other's ways, and yung na yung mga material handling ba nga, more hazardous na good siya if wala kay tarong nga site layout. Also, if it's near water, delivering heavy items by barge is common pa yan. And also, temporary jetties help unload materials safety. So because buildings are mostly frame structures, let's look into framing methods next. So here we have the heavy framing and the light framing. So I think by definition, and from the word heavy and light framing, we can have a gist of what they mean. So most buildings, they are built around a structural frame. Kita mo dira more siya skeleton, di ba? Merong support sa everything else. So they can be heavy or light. Heavy framing, for example, is kanang mga makita diri mga made of timber or heavy steel columns, di ba? And is common in large commercial buildings and tall buildings. Whereas ang kaning light frame, they use smaller or standard size members like dimensional lumber or like mga light gauge nga steel ba. Yeah, common ni siya ang mga light framing sa residential nga construction. So if makita gani ka ng mga malls, di ba? Heavy framing na siya. Di ba to kasi yung balay, kita ka light framing ra di ay ni. So ang advantage po di ay ani di ay. I'm sorry. I'm actually a bit sick, so here, the advantage of heavy framing, okay, since makita man siya dako na siya, diba, compared sa light framing, it can span long distances. It can support heavy loads, and then often faster, mas paspas ang assembly for large buildings kaya may cranes na gigamit. And also, ang disadvantage ng gyud, since from the word heavier iyang foundations, and yet higher iyang material cost, and it requires specialist lifting equipment kay bugat man siya. So mo ni naggamit ng mga cranes and other mga equipment. Here, ang advantage pag sa light framing is economical siya for small buildings. It is simple, and mga tools niya kay simple ra ba, di na kan mag-need o gamit ani mga big mga cranes. And it is flexible. Ang disadvantage, however, kay limited ra iyang span and lower iyang load capacity since light naman iyang framing. So that depends on us review, on the building use, height, budget, and availability of materials and equipment. So we have here other construction methods. We have here the masonry. It is a building with bricks or stones and mortar. Common siya for walls and small nga buildings. It can be durable, but labor-intensive siya. Reinforced concrete. Concrete with steel reinforcement, diba? It is excellent for beams and columns magyud. We're very familiar with this one. Slabs and heavy structures. It is widely used because it's strong and durable because reinforced mo siya ng concrete. We have here also the rammed earth. Mao ni siya mga compressed nga earth blocks, sustainable siya and thermally efficient and often used for eco-friendly housing. So we also have lastly the structural insulated panels. Sa mao ni sila gitawag nga sandwich panels with rigid insulation between structural boards. Nakita niyo diri, mao ni siya ang SIP. They give high thermal efficiency and fast assembly, often used in modern energy-efficient homes. Kanang makita ninyo nga mga like eco-friendly homes, mo ni siya usually ilang gamiton. And for that, moving on, we have Miss Elise Tableo to discuss further on the other construction methods.
Hello, so thank you, Miss Jem. So moving on, we have two types of construction methods. So we have traditional methods and the modern methods, which will be discussed further by Miss Debon. So starting with the traditional method. So steel, wood, concrete, and masonry are four of the most commonly used, more like known nga traditional construction methods. So next forward. Next slide, please. So first is wood construction. So by the word itself, wood, meaning ang iyang gipanggamit nga construction material mostly is made of wood. So there are different types of wood. So we have the hardwood, softwood, and engineered wood. So unsay kalahian sa tulo? So hardwood are dense, heavy, strong, and durable materials, unlike sa softwood, which are lighter and easier to cut. So asa man ni sila gikan? Hardwoods are gikan sa mga gitawag nato nga deciduous trees or katong mga seasonal trees nga usually mosyad sila og mga leaves during kanang fall season. And kaning mga softwoods kay gikan siya sa coniferous tree nga gitawag sa nato evergreen kay always ni siya mo green. Always ni siya color green or like na siya leaves mix magyon sa man ang season. Whereas kaning engineered wood kay mo ni siya ang engineered wood are made from both hardwood or softwood, and it is typically manufactured in the mga factories. So next slide, please. So to have us familiarized with the engineered woods, we have here plywood, which is kanang familiar kay ta, gikan pagbata kadungog na gid ta pirmihan ang plywood. So these are thin layers of wood veneer glued together at a right angle. So wala na ko nag-attach og picture dira sa plywood because I believe familiar na tang tanan. So these are usually used sa flooring, sa walls, sa roof, and as well as furnitures. Next is the oriented strand wood, which is kana nasa picture beside sa PPT. So these are formed by kana mga strands or flakes sa wood nga gicompress, gibutngan og adhesive. So these are usually used sa roofing, flooring, as well as sheeting. Next slide, please. Okay, so other types of engineered wood are what we call laminated veneer lumber, which is made from multiple layers of thin wood veneer na giglued together. These are used sa mga beams, headers, as well as other structural members. Ang kaning cross-laminated timber is kaning naa sa picture. So these are still made from multiple layers, but dili na siya thin. These are made by multiple layers of solid sawn lumber. So these are used sa floor, walls, and other tall timber building. So asa man ni nato sila usually makita? So makita ni nato siya usually sa framing. If familiar mo, magtanaw-tanaw mo HGTV or kanang mga house renovation, makita dyan mo sa laing nasod nga usually ang ilahang framing is made from wood. Dili na sana nato siya sa framing makitaan, but as well as sa floor, sa wall, as well as roof. And often gamiton siya sa bridges, pero katong mga bridges nga dili mo carry og grabe kabugat nga load. So what are its advantages and disadvantages? So first, it is aesthetically appealing. aesthetically appealing in a way nga usually if magdecorate ka og balay, ang uban mo request gyud og mga wood, gamiton nila as accent kay nindot siya tan-awon. And then it is workable and it is sustainable and lightweight yet strong. Although dili siya pareha ka strong sa ubang materials, it is still strong nga makabuhat kag structure nga pwede sa nimo gamiton or putan. Next is it has good insulation properties. However, as we know, gikan ta sa init nga nasod, so ang mga kuan, ang mga usually cases sa fire diri nga balay kay gikan sa mga houses nga made of wood. So wood is susceptible to fire and decay and rot. Kanang mga gitawag nato nga anay, pwede sila anayon. And kuig na ni ang pest damage. So these are also not ideal for tall structures since naaray limit sa makaya niya nga load. And also, moisture sensitive siya. Like, pwede siya mudako or ma-shrink. Depende sa temperature. So, muna siya. So, next is... next slide, please. So, next is the masonry. So, natay upat ka types sa masonry. So, dili ni siya limited to kaning nahibawan na to nga CHB. So, nailain. Na pwede ta mo gamit og brick, stone, and even glass block. However, ang atong pinaka-familiar diri is the concrete block na masonry. So, kasagaran makita na to diri nga glass block masonry kay kanang gamiton siya as exterior decoration sa mga storefronts or kanang mga balay nga ganahan sila na musulod nga hayag sa ilahang kuan, pero di sila ganahan og open kaayo nga windows or like kanang mga glass na panels. So what are its advantages and disadvantages? So first, of course, it is durable. And it is excellent in fire resistance. So, dili masunog ang balay. And it is also aesthetically pleasing, labi na sa katungganahan og brutalist nga mga buildings. And it has good thermal and sound insulation. However, it is very labor intensive. If I believe familiar na mo, if magtukod ka og wall and CHB, sa tagsaon pa na siya stock, magbutang pa ka og mortar in between, i-fill pa dyan yung mortar ang katong hollow na kuan sa CHB. So labor intensive siya. So mas mag-require siya og skilled labor and of course mahal ang iyahang kuan, mahal iyang initial nga gasto kay mo. Gasto man kag mo trabaho. And it is also heavy and it has limited flexibility in design since usually sharp ang edges sa kuan sa kaning mga gitawag nato nga blocks. So dili ka makadali-dali og gamit ani sa kanang mga walls nga mo curve ang design. And also it is prone to cracking if the foundation shifts. So next is the concrete construction. So these are used to form structural elements such as gitawag nato nga foundation, columns, beams, slabs, as well as walls. So natay tulo ka type sa concrete construction. So first is we have the reinforced concrete, the precast concrete, as well as the cast-in-place concrete. So how do these three types of concrete construction differ from one another? So the reinforced concrete na atong familiar kaayo with is gamit siya og the word itself, reinforced concrete, gamit siya og reinforcing steel bars or mesh, butang niya sa formwork before pa ka mag-pour sa concrete. Whereas the precast concrete kay baligi manufacture na siya sa factory daan and then ikaabot niya sa construction site, diretso na lang og assemble. Ang cast-in-place sad kay adto na siya i-diretso og build sa site and adto na sa iyahang finished position. So muna ilang difference. Ang isa kay magbutang og kuan steel bars, ang isa kay gi-manufacture daan, ang isa kay adto sa site i-pour na dayon. So its advantage and disadvantages is first, of course, durable siya. kay nanagud siya compression nga part, and then napag siya reinforcing, labi na to na reinforced concrete. And it is also excellent for fire resistance. Dili siya parihat sa wood nga dali ra masunog. It is also versatile since if ganahan kag balay nimo nga mag-wave pa na dira, basta makuan lang na ang formwork ug buhusan ra dayon, okay ra ang kuan, makakuha na din ka sa design. But night times nga kanang sito ganin taas ang iyahang high cost tungod sa lagi if lisod ang imong design. So it reduces construction time since modiretso na kagbuhos, unlike sa katong mga CHB or sa masonry nga construction nga manumanuhon pa nimo ang isa ka block. And it is also low maintenance, unlike sa wood nga magsige kag kuan sa iyahang pest control if basig anayon na nang imong balay dira. Ang kaning concrete nga construction kay dili. However, it is prone to cracking and shrinkage pareha na temperature change. And it is also heavy and difficult to modify. It also requires skilled labor. Labi na kanang part nga butang kag reinforcement, dili pwede mo pataka-pataka, mag-hire lang ka pataka og labor dira. And basig ang imuhang labor kay pataka ra nag-connect sa imuhang bars nya mo weak no ning imuhang structure. So next is the steel construction. Of course, sa steel construction ang atong gamiton is mostly steel. It is often used in high-rise building, bridges, warehouses, and factories. So natay 7 types of steel construction, which is first the conventional steel fabrication, bolted steel construction, light gauge steel, modular steel, steel frame construction, composite steel, and pre-engineered steel construction. So atong tagsa-tagsaon. First is the conventional steel fabrication. Ang anyang imuhang steel members diri are gi-cut and gi-weld nimo manually sa imuhang construction site or sa duol nga workshop. Unlike sa next nga kuan, unlike sa other construction kani kay ikaw pay magmano-mano. So next slide please. So next is the bolted steel construction. Ari ang imuhang mga steel components or members kay gi-fabricate na siya daan off-site, hindi kaabot dito sa imuhang construction kay diretso na lang siya put together ibang bolt, and then makabuhat na din ka og construction ay imuhang structure rather. So next is the light gauge steel construction. Ang iyahang main idea diri is mogamit siya og thin steel section, mo nang gitawag siya light gauge nga gi-form o cold form into shapes sa mga shops or it is assembled on site. So ang iyang quandary, even though nigamit siya og thin nga steel section, it is still durable. Next is the modular steel construction, which completes building modules or units are fabricated in a factory and assembled on site. So the modules are constructed in standard sizes, shapes that are easily stacked and create a variety of building designs. So for the last 3, we have steel frame construction, which uses steel to construct structural framework of a building. So from the word itself, steel frame, so meaning ang framing system sa imuhang building is made up of steel. So it is the skeleton nga imuhang steel, ang imong columns, imong beams, imong support. So ara nag-rely ang mga weight and load sa imuhang structure. Next is the composite steel construction. From the word composite, ang steel kay sagulan siya laing material, pwede concrete, pwede wood, pwede palaing material. And lastly, the pre-engineered steel construction, which uses pre-designed and prefabricated steel components that are assembled on site. So for its advantages and disadvantages, of course, it is lightweight compared nimo sa concrete nga bugat, and it is durable and easy to modify. And also it reduces construction time since ang steel kay i-fabricate na nimo daan sa factory and then dadon na lang nimo on site. And also ang quality niya is uniform since fabricated siya, di siya parehas sa wood nga siya parehas sa wood nga tanawon pa nimo ang quality. and sa CHB nga magdepende sa workmanship sa imuhang labor. However, it is prone to corrosion labi na if ma-expose siya og moisture and ulan. So mahal ang iyahang maintenance. Also, it is susceptible to fire. And of course, ang iyasang thermal conductivity kay dali ra siya mo init. And taas siya initial cost since mahal ang fabrication sa imuhang steel, and also it requires steel skilled labor since ang imong steel kay ipang kuan pa na siya ipang connect, and if bati ang imong connection kay wa ka ni hire og skilled labor pwede na mo fail ang imong imong structure. So I believe that's all for the traditional methods. We have Miss Tibon for the modern methods of construction. Thank you.
Okay, so now let's talk about the modern methods of construction. So, ang kanidi ay modern methods of construction where sabotable your good no? So, from the name itself, kay mo na siya to ang mga paagi karon sa construction industry para mapadali ato ang trabaho. So, in modern methods of construction, we have here the next slide, the off-site construction methods, and we also have the on-site construction methods or like innovations. So for on-site construction methods, we have volumetric construction or volumetric modular construction, the panelized construction, the hybrid construction, and lastly, the what we call sub-assemblies and components. And by the way, ang kanilang mga off-site construction methods usually pre-manufactured na ni siya, which means nga gibuhat na ni siya daan sa factory in a controlled environment, and then gideliver na lang ni siya sa site diretso para itaod na siya diretso. So yeah. So now starting off with the volumetric or modular construction, ang kaning volumetric modular construction is what you can see in the picture kay kuan na ni siya kanang where ni siya room na or it's like in a 3D module. So like it's a fully enclosed box with the floor na and then the walls and also the roof. So ang kaning volumetric construction kay it can be 80 to 95% complete. And what I meant by that is that ang kaning volumetric construction kay it can come now with na siya interior finishes such as iyahang paints, iyahang floorings, and also the fixtures and fittings, and also pwede sad na nana ni siya complete na iyahang plumbing and also iyahang wiring or like naka-ready na iyahang plumbing and iyahang wirings. So yeah, muna siyang volumetric methods. It's in 3D, and we also have here the panelized construction. So as you can see in the picture, ang kana siyang panelized construction is naka 2D ni siya. So since naka 2D man ni siya, it means nga gamito ni siya para sa ato ang walls baron or sa ato ang floors and also sa ato ang roofings. So ang kaning panelized construction kay it can be kanang pwede nga insulated na siya na siya insulation daan and cladding and also nanay mga windows daan. So next slide, we have here the hybrid construction. So kaning hybrid construction kay mix ni siya sa duha sa volumetric or modular construction ug sa katong panelized construction. And lastly, the components and sub-assemblies. So unsa man yung components and sub-assemblies and what makes it different man sa katong volumetric ug sa panelized construction. So ang katumangong volumetric and panelized construction kay naka-concern to sila mainly sa pag-create og kanang mga load-bearing structure sa ato ang building. So it's like wala gyud siya nag-form sa shell sa atong building since mao man siya ang kanang walls na yeah. And then ang kaning sub-assemblies and components, they are typically smaller, non-systemized items and also designed to simplify and speed up the installation of the detailed elements. So, um, example aning sub-assemblies or like components and sub-assemblies is kaning wiring looms. So, unsa man siyang wiring looms? Ang kaning wiring looms kay ang wirings ni siya nga naka-ready na, which means nga naka-cut na siya to its process plant. It's pre-terminated with connectors and it is also bound together in a protective sleeve. So like, ready na jud siya, lahos na niyo siya taod diretso dito sa sides. Di na kailangan magputol-putol ng wire. Tas, lahos na gina siya na and then we also have here the precast na stairs. This is made na dito sa factory tas deliver na dito sa site para itaw. So that's it for the offsite construction. Now let's go to the on-site innovation and technology. So for on-site innovation and technology, next slide we have here the printing or the additive manufacturing. We also have the what do you call this? Digital tools and the innovative materials and techniques. So for 3D printing, kay mao ni siya ang kanang kuan pag-transform sa imong digital computer aided design into a three-dimensional physical solid object or part. So yeah, as you can see here sa picture, kay i-print na lang yun siya diretso and it can be done off-site or on-site. And then next we have the digital tools, the BIM, and the automation. So for BIM, ang BIM, mao ni siya ang it is a collaborative process for creating and managing a digital presentation sa tuang building or infrastructure. So I think daghan gyapon kayo natutunan mo ang galibog kung unsa gyud siya ang BIM, and I think most of us confuse this as a program like AutoCAD or Revit. So kani di ang BIM, this is not a program, however, it is a method of creating and managing digital information about a building project. So yeah, it is a method, it is a process or like a concept. Well, ang katong program kay mao to siya ato ang gamiton or it's like our tool to perform the BIM. So yeah, basically BIM is how you build, and the program is what you use para makabuild sa kaning ato ang design. And now, sa daytoy kaning mga automation or like paggamit nato mga robotics para mapadali atong trabaho on sites. And usually ang kaning mga robotics kay para ra ni sila sa kanang magbuhat sa mga repetitive nga buhatonon sa site such as bricklaying, baron or like kaning welding. And then we have here the innovative materials and techniques. So one of the innovative materials and techniques is the kaning insulated concrete formwork. So ang kaning insulated concrete formwork kani siya nga sa ubos nga picture, it is a construction system nga mag-use og kanang hollow interlocking blocks of foam para maka-create of permanent molds sa reinforced concrete walls, floors, or roofs. So yan, mapadali niya ang pag-build sa structure, tas maka-provide sa siya benefit sa kanang thermal performance, self-insulation, and sa structural strength. So for innovative materials, we have the kaning self-healing concrete. So ang kaning self-healing concrete, literal self-healing gyud siya, no? So it's like a material that can repair its own cracks. So iyahang ni benefits is it increases the lifespan and also reducing the maintenance na kinahanglan sa tuang concrete structure. So now let's move on to the advantages and also the disadvantages sa toang modern method of construction. So for its advantages, we have here speed and efficiency. So kanang mas mapadali man atong trabaho sa moment man jud. modern method of construction. That is because, di ba, naman tayo katong mga pre-manufactured, prefabricated na nga mga components. So, while imo to silang gipabuhat dito sa factory, you can do the other stuffs nga kinahanglan buhaton sa site. So, um, you can do both simultaneously. So, now let's talk about the advantages and also the disadvantages of the mo- modern method of construction. I was thinking of saying moment, but yeah, the modern method of construction. So for the advantages, we have here speed and efficiency. So nga nang mapapaspas pa niya to ang trabaho compared sa katong traditional nga method. That is because, di ba, naman tayo kaning mga prefabricated, pre-manufactured na nga components katong buong metal construction, panelized construction, ug katong usa pa tong lain. So while gipangbuhat to siya sa factory ang katong mga kinahanglan buhaton sa factory itong mga pre-manufactured components kay pwede nga buhaton pud to nato ang mga kinahanglan buhaton on-site simultaneously. So like while doing this, kay buhaton sa to nimo ang buhaton on-site. So yeah, mas dali siya. Mas paspas ang dagan sa ato ang pag-construct. And next is for cost savings. Why man maka-save man ta? So that is because ang kani man gong prefabricated or pre-manufactured components nato since naman siya sa factory gibuhatan, that means na ang pag-estimate sad sa mga materials kay makaingon jud ta nga mas accurate gid siya didto. So last nga kanang dili ay since controlled ba sa diyang environment, that means nga dili na ka makagasto pa og kanang puno-puno og kanang palit baron og semento kay like nasayop ang pag-mix ani kay nag-uwanan baron or like wala tabunan imong gibuhat dira ang kuan mga concrete. So yeah, dili ka makagasto-gasto og daghan tungod sa kanang mga sayop-sayop nga possible nimo mabuhat on site. And then next is quality control. So again, since naaman siya sa factory gibuhat, that means nga ang environment is controlled. So di siya exposed sa kanang adverse weather such as extreme baron nga raining which can compromise sa kanang integrity sa atong material. And also, ihasang process sa didto sa factory is kanang repetitive siya ang pagbuhat. So like, naka-standard siya didto. Tas, it is also done with the help na sa kanang mga automated or robotics. Yeah, stuff like that. And it is also inspected na dito sa factory before i-deliver sa site para ma-ensure jud iyang quality. Next is sustainability. Again, mas maka-reduce kag waste kay tungod mas say for example, mas bulk imuhang pagkuan so like walay daghang excess. Yeah. And then improved safety. This is for the workers since yeah, referring gihapon sa katong mga offsite construction, method of construction kay since gibuhat naman siya sa factory tas i-deliver sa site tas usually crane na lang especially for the volumetric construction, the panelized construction, i-crane naman to sila para ibutang dito sa tong structure kay di na kakinahanglan og kanang mga manpower pa para mag-build sa imong walls if ever magani dito imong structure kay very taas. So yeah, dili ma-risk ang life sa imong workers na kanang magbuhat sa walls dito sa very high floor. Tas di sila manghagta. And then next is for the disadvantages. For disadvantages, we have the skilled labor shortage. So since new man ni siya ang kaning yeah, modern man ni siya nga paagi, that means ang mga workers pa kay naka-stick pa sa traditional method tas wa pa naanad aning method. So like they still have to learn bago sa ilaha. So yeah, mas gamay ang mas naialamag ani niya nga paagi. Next is high initial cost. So of course, since imuhang referring to the off-site construction kay kinahanglan jud ka mo put in og dako nga kwartas kay kinahanglan pa man nimo siya ipatrabaho sa factories, alangan naman sa din nimo siya bayaran. So like, unlike sa katong traditional nga pwede tigi-tigi imong pagpalit sa materials, kani siya kay kinahanglan jud ka mohatag og kwarta daan para pabuhat sa imong pre-manufactured nga components. And also, if sa katong on-site, kinahanglan sa ka mobayad og kanang mga software, o kanang software, kinahanglan na nimo silang paliton. Tas if magkuan sad ka katong mga robotics, mag-grant ka or like mopalit ka sa mga machines, stuff like that. So yeah, it has high initial cost. Pero mabawi ra gyapon na siya kay kanang dili naman ka magsigig gasto-gasto, di man tigi-tigi imong paggasto sa kani siyang modern methods of construction unlike sa traditional method. Tas mas precise naman imong magastuan. Yeah. Next is for logistical challenges. So the logistical challenges referred here is ang kaning kuan transportation and also kaning pagka water dependency sa modern methods of construction. So for transportation, kay especially if dagko gid kaayo nga kuan, like say for example dagko gid kay nga rooms imong gipabuhat kay of course lisod gid kay siya ipa-transport mo padung sa site. So yeah, mas mabilis pa siya. Disadvantage niya ang transportation kay kinahanglan pa kag mga permit, mga escort, if dagko kayo imong mga components nito buhat gipa pre-manufacture. Tas really for weather dependency kay although ang kani siyang pre-manufactured components kay gibuhat ni siya sa factory with a controlled environment. However, initaod ni mo ni siya niya sa site kay di sad ka makaingon nga any time of the day magtaod ka kay possible man nga kanang hangin kaayo then naka-craner ba ni siya. So if hangin kaayo possible nga mag-sway-sway dito imong components tas di siya mataod bitaw or like maguba na siya kay basi siya kahapak dira sa laing part sa imong structure. So next is limited flexibility. Since pabuhat man nimo siya sa factory, di gid ka kaingon nga pailis ko og design. I mean, you can, but however, mas costly na gani siya. So yeah, dili nakakalahos-lahos og change og design unlike sa traditional method na if di ka ganahan ni wall imo ipabukbok dira or like ganahan kang kani siya nga wall kay ikaw nimo kani siya kay if nagasto na kanin ani impormasyon mo wall kay di naman nimo siya mapausab dali-dali. Yeah. And if imong ipausab kay mahal na siya. So yeah, that's why it has a limited flexibility. So that ends for my report about the modern methods of construction. Now let me pass the floor to Ms. Jaisal Lianek to continue the presentation.
One job. So it's a series of highly specialized operations managed sequentially for efficiency, safety, and quality. So there are classification under construction operations, and first to be done is site preparation. Next slide, please. So this is the initial stage of transforming raw or developed land into a ready-to-build site. Sa may buhat na ani. Next slide, please. Back there. My bad. So there's survey and there means boundaries and elevators, setting out the building blueprint. And then we do hearing also, remove some vegetation and debris and also sa existing structures. And isa simple na siya mga activities, this prevents costly mistakes and delays in later phases. So there are also tools and equipment to prepare the site. Next slide, please. So we have here fencing materials of boards. Muna siyang more nag-provide ng boundary sa construction site o sa kanang
sa area wala na apil sa construction. So mura po siya og naghatag og kanang ali para dili makasud ang mga dili authorized nga mga people nga maka-disrupt sa working process nga site. And we have here a company placard which shows the information or the mga dili makita ang mga adlaw kung sa start o ano sa siya gi-assume nga mo end. Yeah, sa public na kanang company placard or like placard alone is kanang makita ko dito ang pila po ang gasto sa kanang infrastructure. Next is health and safety signs. So, makita rin sa picture is na danger warning, caution, notice, and mo na siya mga like mga red tape. Pahatag siya sign kung asa diri ang dili dapat ay unsay dapat buhaton sa people nga naa sa duol ani nga side. Next slide, please. Also, we have screws and screwdriver that aids both insertion and removal, and is particularly useful when handling small screws or working in confined spaces. We also have shears, axes, and shovels, all heavy machinery, and to assist in clearing the site, like huge debris or for transportation of equipments. Next slide, please. Next is earth moving. So this involves movement, transportation, and rearrangement of soil, rock, and other materials on site. So what do we do? So excavation, leveling sa ground para ma-achieve ang required na slope, and removing excess material or bringing in fill materials. Next slide, please. Now for foundation treatment, very may tabo ang pag-pouring sa concrete coatings, installation of piles, clearing the site for weeds and stuff to get rid of obstructions. So this step is crucial because it provides the structural integrity and stability necessary for a building to support its entire weight. Resist sa environmental forces and ensure nga magdugay ang structure. So without proper foundation work, for sure mapulat yun na ang building. Next slide, please. Now for steel erection, this is assembling and installing steel frameworks for buildings or bridges. So, next slide, please. So this is a process of assembling fabricated components inside, and with careful planning can be completed relatively quickly. So assembly of steel components into a frame. So in essence, mura kang gabuild ka ng dako nga 3-dimensional puzzle to form a skeletal structure of the building. Next slide. So what do we do? This ensures safety and stable foundation. So we need to make sure that the foundation is stable before building a frame. There's a use of heavy-duty cranes to lift large steel beams and columns into a place, aligning the structure, and of course, after placing the steels into place, bolting or welding components together are performed. Next slide, please. So the honeymoon process is mixing, transporting, and pouring concrete into formwork. So this process is important because concrete is the most widely used building material. Also, proper placement is essential for achieving its design compressive strength. Next, please. So, natin procedure dali sa concrete placement. So first, pre-placement inspection. So before pouring, all formworks, equipment, and layout are checked to ensure readiness and safety for concrete placement. Second is continuous concrete flow. Concrete should be conveyed smoothly and continuously to avoid segregation and ensure uniform placement. So segregation in concrete flow is damaging to the structure, kaya this will weaken its strength since it will create localized weak spots and defects throughout the structure. Okay, mag-separate man ang heavier aggregates sa cement paste and water. Third is proper positioning and compaction. Concrete must be placed and compacted in its final position within 30 minutes after mixing and should not be disturbed afterwards because this will disrupt the bonding process and will reduce its strength. Fourth is controlled drop in narrow pores. When direct placement is not possible, use drop chutes or elephant trunks to control the flow of concrete. With the use of chute and elephant trunks, mas efficient yung pagbutang sa concrete sa imong target na spot. So, if wala pa mo kita sa noun sa elephant trunks, literal rin siya trunks sa elephant. So, imagine na lang yun. So, the fifth one is extra care during high drops. Take special care when dropping concrete from a height, especially around reinforcement, to prevent damage or segregation. Same as our second one, which is segregation. And next slide, please.
Wait, pause, sister. Hindi. Go.
So construction isn't just a one-man job. It's a series of highly specialized operations managed sequentially for efficiency, safety, and quality.
So there
So there are classification under construction operations, and first to be done is site preparation.
next slide.
Next slide, please.
So
So
this is
this is the initial stage of transforming raw or developed land into a ready-to-build site. So unsa may buhaton ano yung process? So there's a survey and layout na determines the boundaries, elevations, setting out the building blueprint.
and we
Then
do
we do clearing, mag-remove sa vegetation, debris, and existing structures. Bisan simple lang yun siyang mga activities, this prevents costly mistakes and delays in later phases.
So there
So
are
there are also tools and equipment to prepare the site.
so
So
first
is fencing materials or boards. Ano siya ang naghatag og boundary sa asa dapit ang construction area o sa kanang dili
dili
kanang
dili
dili apil sa kanang site.
so
So to also have kuan pod dili makasud ang mga dili authorized nga mga person sa site nga maka-disturb sa sa work.
and
And second, we have here a company placard which shows the date kung kano sa nag-start ang construction until sa gi-assume nga date kung kano sa sila man.
and for
And for public na placard, like public na infrastructure sa government mismo, makita sa dito sa placard kung
unsa
pila ka budget ang gigasto ana nga infrastructure.
so
So third one is health and safety signs. So kani clearly this will display mga warning kung unsay efficiently makadisplay siya sa mga sign kung unsa ni siya nga area. Okay. Kaya makahelp po siya og kuan sa time nga mas efficient siya kaya of course di na sige pangutan ang mga workers so unsa ni siya maka-cause accidents kaya tungod wa siya nangutana. So
next
slide please.
we have
Screws and screwdrivers that aids both insertion and removal. And is particularly useful when handling small screws or working in confined spaces. We have also shear and access and shovels para dugkal sa mga sayuta. And we have lastly heavy machinery to assist in clearing the site, like huge debris or for transportation of equipments. Next slide, please. Next is earth moving. This involves movement, transportation, and rearrangement of soil, rock, and other materials on site. What do we do? The excavation, leveling the ground to achieve required slope, and removing excess material or bringing in fill material. Next slide, please. Okay. So foundation treatment. Diri may tabo ang pag-pour sa concrete footings, installing piles, clearing the site for weeds and stuff to get rid of obstructions. This step is crucial because it provides the structural integrity and stability necessary for a building to support its entire weight. So, resist sa environmental forces and ensure na magbugay ang structure. So, without proper foundation work, for sure, makolapse yun na ang building. Next slide, please. So, for steel erection, we have assembling and installing steel frameworks for buildings or bridges. Right? So this process involves assembling and fabricated components on site. So with careful planning, this can be completed relatively quickly. So in essence, mura ka gabuild og dako nga three-dimensional nga puzzle to form a skeleton structure of a building. So what do? We have here the process kung sa pag-perform ang steel erection. First is to ensure safe and stable foundations. We need to make sure that the foundation is stable before building the frame. There's the use of heavy-duty cranes to lift large steel beams and columns into place, aligning the structure and of course, after placing the steels into place, bolting or welding components together are performed. Next slide, please. So we have here a concrete placement. So this process is important because concrete is the most widely used building material. Also, proper placement is essential for achieving its design compressive strength. So we have here its procedure. First, pre-placement inspection. Before pouring magbuhos sa concrete, all formworks, equipment, and layout are checked to ensure readiness and safety for concrete placement. Second, continuous concrete flow. Concrete should be conveyed smoothly and continuously to avoid segregation and ensure uniform placement. So segregation in concrete flow is damaging to the structure, kaya this will weaken its strength since it will create localized weak spots and defects throughout the structure. Kaya mag-separate man ang heavier aggregates sa cement paste and water. So third, proper positioning and compaction. Concrete must be placed and compacted in its final position within 30 minutes after mixing and should not be disturbed afterwards because this will disrupt the bonding process and will reduce its strength. Next slide, please. So the fourth is controlled drop in narrow forms. So when direct placement is not possible, use drop chutes or elephant trunks to control the flow of concrete. So the use of chutes and elephant trunks isn't imupagutang sa concrete sa imong target na spot. Fifth one is the extra care during high drops. Take special care when dropping concrete from a height, especially around reinforcement to prevent damage or segregation. Same ra siya o kanang reason na hindi siya ihulog sa second one. Next slide, please. So for asphalt paving, it is the process of installing layers of asphalt mix. Durable surfaces for our roads, parking lots, and walkways. So this is critical for developing necessary infrastructure and providing safe all-weather access to and around the built environment. So, ano siya ang process sa asphalt paving? So before paving, a thin film of asphalt, ano siya ang prime and tack coats, is sprayed on the unpaved surface to ensure bonding between layers. The coats are left secure to prevent slippage during or after compaction. Then placing asphalt makes good condition ang nag-deliver ng asphalt. And the setup is in correct position, then magsugod na ang paving. Next slide, please. So ano siya ang criteria sa asphalt paving? So, ano siya ang i-follow if pasar siya, nara ni siya, na-check na ni tanan kaning na as criteria, then ang gibuhat niya ng asphalt paving is in good condition. Next slide, please. So for electrical and mechanical installation, this is when installation of systems occur that make the building habitable, functional, and comfortable. So this skill requires extensive coordination between trades to ensure pipes, wires, and ducts do not clash, especially above the ceilings and in walls. So, mura siya kanang lifeblood sa modern building nga nag-control sa power and sanitation. And lastly, for operation and maintenance, when the constructed structures are completed and turned over to the project owner, they are operated and maintained. So when construction ends, building operation costs begin. Preserving the structure, the goal here is to prevent failure, extend the asset life, and minimize repair costs, while making sure its intended purpose of the structure is achieved. So that's all for construction operation. Now the next slide will be discussed by Ms. Tableo, which is the manpower safety.
All right, so I will be discussing the manpower safety. So for this part of the report, since naman ta atong construction methods, we will focus on manpower safety, which is also a critical component of construction management. So when we talk about safety, we refer to the condition of being protected, diba? From harm, danger, or any undesirable outcome. So in construction, safety goes beyond simply avoiding accidents. It involves anticipating hazards, assessing risk, and applying control measures to keep those risks within acceptable levels. So a construction site, as we know it, is full of potential hazards because, of course, kanang ongoing pa ang project ana, and they're like tanan gyud everywhere is a kanang risk sa like na siya hazard ba. So this includes unstable nga ground. Nya, kaning mga heavy equipment kag giput nato on site, kanang mga sharp objects, kanang mga debris, kanang mga hug from the top of the building, mga electrical system, and work at height. So without systematic safety practices, these hazards, they can easily lead to injuries or serious incidents. So first and foremost, what is manpower safety? Manpower safety, it is especially focuses on protecting the workers, right? The people performing the physical labor and the technical tasks on site. So this includes the permanent employees, the temporary workers, katong mga subcontractors, and even interns or students who visit the site. Like para sa tunog OJT me, kay dili jud mi pa adtuon sa site unless if naka-hard hat me ug naka-vest me, katong nakatarong mi og kanang working boots ba kay bawal man jud siya. And also part yun sa compliance nila that when you go to site, you have to be protected. Good. So we have here the basic rules for safety. So it may sound simple, but they are sorry. Sorry kaya. Kalain ako lawas basig mo na ning resulta sa midterm ba. Kanang okay, back to the PowerPoint on hand. So kani, for example, of the basic rules for safety, they keep the construction site tidy and also they keep the pathways clear. They like more siya malimpyo ka sa site ba, mo siya housekeeping na task, but they prevent a large number of common accidents like kanang common accidents on site like maslide ta, madakdak katong ka na mo slip ta niya ana mahugta. Mo na siya ang atong i-avoid. Also, mo nang ato i-tidy up ang construction sites. And also, floor openings must be fenced or covered because kanang even a half meter nga fall, di ba bisag half meter pa na makakause po siya serious nga injury, and we avoid that as much as possible. Also, removing refuse quickly prevents fire hazards and obstruction. And only makita tag key passages clear at all times, and we put signs near hazardous places and materials, as you can see here sa mga pictures, mga images na nasa PowerPoint. So these rules, they appear basic, but if ignored it can lead to major incidents. So with that, we have here the personal protective equipment. So as you can see here sa image, naay ka ng tao na nagsuot og hard hat, vest, kani head protection at tagsaon. This helps in protecting the head for falling or flying objects, and also we have here the eye protection. Kaya para dili maanaan ang atong mata o mga dust kay mapuling ganita di na kita ana ta. And also the kani high visibility hat, vest and pants para makanang maklaro na ta ba if na mag-drive, at least makita ta sa mga drivers sa mga vehicles dara. Also, we have the hearing protection para ta mabungog in case nga nay mag-drilling ang kusog kaayo sa site, dili ta mabungog. Also, we have the pants, we have the hand protection, we have the harness lanyard, we have the foot protection, which is also important pasig matunog tag anything ato sa site. So those are the personal protective equipment, and we have here Miss Elise Debleo to further expound the manpower safety.
So thank you, Jam. So for the safety, natay gitawag diri nga safety policy, which is a written statement that outlines how a company will manage safety and health when in work site. So we know nga construction area or kana work site is really hazardous and daghan og risk didto. Daghan natag nakuan nga balita nga nay uban unfortunately natagak sa mga high floor nga building during work na sa uban nga naigo o natagakan og mga itauray nga mga steel members or kanang mga concrete nga ibutang ato sa ibabaw. So natay gibutang diri nga safety policy. So example ana is kana makita nato before tamo enter sa construction site, nagibutang nga dapat mag-wear og PPE before ka mosulod. So mo na siya. So next is necessary risk assessment, which is the identification of potential hazards and to evaluate the risk they pose to workers and determine way to eliminate and control those risks before construction work begins. Next is next slide, please. So next is site boundaries, which is really important when ang imuhang workplace or construction site is near kanang na siya sa mga city or lugar nga daghan og tawo. So dapat magbutang ka og site boundaries kay what if nay manulod dira nga mga bata gatuo nga lugar na para tagu-taguan. And then ikaw kamo mo'y makakuanan kay nganong wala mo gawasad dira og site boundaries. Then naatay gikuan diri nga site access, which are controlled entries and exit points for workers. Para in kaso magkahiunsa sa workplace, magdinog baron si bako or unsa, kay naa sila'y dali nga kaagian ug kagawasan. So those four are the ways nga ma-maintain nato ang safety on construction sites. So there are different types of workplace hazards which will be discussed by Ms. Tibon.
So next slide, please. So now let's talk about the 6 types of workplace hazard. So kani sila kay ma-apply ni siya sa construction industry depende if kung unsa ang specific nga work nga imong gibuhat. So first is the biological hazard or the biohazards. So kaning biological hazards, this involves kanang exposure to living organisms or substances produced by them, such as kanang mga viruses, bacteria, or insects, or bodily fluids. So in construction industry kay present ni siya, especially if imuhang trabaho kay naga-involve og kanang mga sewage baron or like kanang mga contaminated soils. Next is the chemical hazard. Mo ni siyang hazard which involves hazardous substances like mga dangerous nga liquids or solvents baron or flammable gases. So like in construction industry, present ni siya, especially when ang mga workers kay ma-expose sa kanang mga asbestos, solvents, glues, paints, or like fuel fumes. So for ergonomic hazards, one is siya ang hazard that is any physical factor in the workplace that can cause musculoskeletal injuries like strains or sprains due to factors like repetitive motion, awkward posture, or excessive force. So in construction industry, kay present din siya nga hazard, especially when ang mga worker kay mag-handle og kanang mga heavy materials like manual ilahang pag-carry, and also if kanang mag-work sad sila in confined spaces and things like that. Next is the physical hazard. These are environmental factors that can harm employee without necessarily touching them directly. So in construction industry, kay present ni siya nga hazard, especially when ang pagtrabaho kay nag-include og exposure sa kanang mga excessive noise, tas kanang mga vibration sa mga machines, and kanang extreme ang temperature, and also sa kanang radiation. So for psychosocial hazards, kay these hazards kanang nag-relate ni siya sa kanang psychological and social conditions sa workplace. So for construction industry, kay present ni siya nga hazard, especially when ang gabi ang kanang demand sa work. So for safety hazard, pinaka-common nga hazard sa construction, these are nag-involve na siya ka ng mga hazard like trips, falls, electrical shocks, or injuries from operating dangerous machinery or equipment. So naday upat ka main cause of accidents sa construction, and these are the falls, also kanang being struck by objects, electrocutions or kanang makurintihan, and cut in or between accidents. So next. So we also have here the most common OSHA violations in construction. So ang OSHA di ay kay mo ni siya ang Occupational Safety and Health Administration. So ang purpose sa OSHA is to ensure ang kanang mga safe and also healthy ang working environment sa mga workers. So according to OSHA, the most common violations in construction is the fall protection, ladders, and scaffolding. So importante na siya naturon as kanang future engineers nga mahibaw-an unsa niya mga common violation para di sad ni nato siya mabuhat in the future and to keep our workers safe. And that will be the end of our report. Thank you for listening.
I-on daw yung cam. So overall, I would like to say that a project is only truly successful when it is built with proper methods, clear organization, and strong safety practices. So we know now that these three, they ensure both quality work and protected workers. So thank you so much everyone for listening. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day ahead. Thank you. Once again, this has been Ruiz, Tableo, Tibon, and Liam.